Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video talking to you about this plate carrier here from HRT Tactical. This is their RAC plate carrier. I've been testing this thing out for quite a while now. I was going to do a lot more with it here recently, but between the inability of getting ammo, at least affordably, and the fact that Oregon has, as a state, pretty much been burning for the last several weeks, has put a couple wrenches in the plans. But thankfully, prior to all of that mayhem, I was able to get quite a bit of time in with this plate carrier, so I finally feel ready to bring my thoughts to you guys here on the channel. Now, before I get too far, I do want to put out my full disclosure here. I did not pay for this plate carrier. This was provided at no cost by HRT Tactical for me to review. However, they were very clear that they want my genuine opinion on the carrier. They want my feedback and all kinds of things like that. So that's exactly obviously what you're going to be getting in this video. So I do appreciate their willingness to just let me kind of say what my real opinions are. Not that I would have done anything different otherwise. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this carrier. Now I went ahead and moved the camera so we can get a better look at the carrier here. So my face is going to be somewhat cut off, but I'm sure those of you watching this probably don't care about that. This is what you want to see anyway. So right now I have this thing set up with the Maximus placard here on the front. So let's just go ahead and get straight into one of the cool features of this carrier, which is the placard system. Now, HRT Tactical has a lot of different placards available currently, and they are working on some other ones. The Maximus placard gives you a pocket back here for magazines. As you can see, I've got AR mags in there currently. You have two kind of admin pouches here on the front, or you can use them really however you want. And then you've got two either pistol mag pouches or other accessory pouches here on the side. Now, again, you can swap out the placards as a whole, or you can also swap out these mag pouches here in the front. So just real quick, I'm going to bust through this Velcro and throw the other one in. I would do it live, but the Velcro sound isn't going to work well with me talking. So I'm going to go ahead and get this swapped over. All right, and as you can see, it was pretty quick. I'll probably just even play that back in real time, or maybe 2x speed, just so you can get an idea of what that process is. But now this thing is set up for subgun use, so I can be running MP5 mags, I can be running whatever type of subgun mags I want. So I haven't tested it with it, but I would imagine Scorpion Evo mags or anything like that would work. There is one thing that I do want to try. Go ahead and take a stab at what mags these are for here. Okay, yeah, so I guess they sit a little bit short, but they are only 20 round mags. But this will work with another type of gun that maybe I'll throw in at the end. Now, this pocket is pretty deep, so there's a couple things you might want to consider when you're running mags in this pouch. There is enough tension on it where you can either have them manually pulled up a little bit to get better access to them, or you might want to put something in the bottom of that cavity there to help prop those mags up. Because even with those AR mag pouches, they can get pretty deep with just your standard 30 rounders. If you're trying to run 20 rounders, they're going to be real deep in there. So take that in consideration. There are workarounds for it, but it is something you are going to have to work around. Now, as far as these pouches here on the side, they do work with quite a bit of things. So I have, for example, a multi-tool here from SOG that fits in there fine on the side. I have run other double stack mags on the side here, like for CZP09s, and they work perfectly fine. So pretty end user serviceable, pretty adaptable to whatever you might want to be running. You do have your morale patches stuff here on the side, and then this thing comes off pretty simply. You just have Velcro on the front, these two snaps here on the top, and then I can just, if I had another placard or something else I wanted to swap to for whatever it is I'm doing, it's just as simple as that. And now I can be running a totally different system based on my needs at the time. Also, it's worth mentioning, this is just a patch here. It's not like you're stuck with their logo here on the front center. You can swap that out to whatever you want. So let's go ahead and move around to the side. Now this has been swapped out to their quick release Cummerbund system. The ones that it comes with are these really minimalist ones, which for some people is going to be great. Some people like to keep it very simple. Some people want to have the ability to mount mags or, you know, side armor or whatever else they would want to do here on the sides. So that is what I've elected to do here. I do like having the ability to at least set things up here, although typically I don't because of the way I have my battle belt set up. I want ready access to that stuff. This is subject to change in the future though. One of the things that I really love from HRT Tactical is this little accessory pouch here. Now this was, as I understand, designed by John Lovell, kind of as a communications pouch, but you can also use it as a tourniquet pouch. You can see there's a little loop under the bottom here to help support whatever's in there. So with this Baofeng radio with the extended battery, it slides in there perfectly. I can have my comms routed up right here for my push to talk. It just sets up really nicely. The quick release tabs are fairly easy to use when you have plates in here. It's hard to see, but once you get some time in with this thing, it's pretty easy to get everything aligned. As I struggle here, there we go. I really like that Cummerbund setup. It makes for very easy donning and doffing, and then you do have a clip up here on the neck should you want to just pull the tabs. Click that, you can get your whole carrier off very easily, whether you are trying to get it off yourself or you're trying to get it off a buddy who you need to administer care to. So a really neat feature there. And one thing worth mentioning about this neck tab is you can swap it to the other side. However, as I'll probably talk about here in a bit, I do not have any issues running the buckle on this side. At least for me, the way I shoot, it's not getting in the way. I'm going to go ahead and actually take this thing off just so we can talk about what's on the back of this carrier, which means I'm going to have to move my mic around here. All right, so now we've got this thing off and we're looking at the back panel here. Now, a lot of carriers give you the modularity of the front of being able to swap out to whatever system you want. Not very many offered that ability with the back panels as well. However, HRT Tactical does give you some modularity on the back here. So I've opted for a single large pouch here on top and two smaller tear-off admin pouches on the bottom. This is kind of a neat thing, the fact that these admin pouches tear off. So if I needed access to them, I could have a buddy rip them off for me. I can just dig in what I need to, have them put it back on if I need to. Or, you know, if I wanted to put a med pit pouch in one of those or something for a buddy to be able to come up and grab, there's, you know, kind of endless opportunities. They're limited only by your imagination. And then you do have a drag handle here on the top should someone need to get you on the move. I will say that the way I have this set up currently will probably be changing. I've played around with these a little bit. However, I think I would prefer having just the single pack on the back. That way I can put hydration in there a little bit easier. And then if I need to, I can flat pack that and throw a regular backpack on over the top. These pouches are great, but I think just for my needs that the single kind of backpack attachment would be a little bit more ideal. again, you can make that determination for yourself. One thing I will say about all the pouches and all the zippers on everything, first of all, obviously the craftsmanship is really good. All the stuff is really well sewn, but the little zippers have these nice, like almost paracord pull tabs, which are obviously going to be very robust and just make it a little bit easier to get into and out of those pouches. So I really like that. Now let's talk about how these things are as far as wearing, like how comfortable are they. So I'm going to kind of swap this thing backwards here. You can see the little bit of adjustability there for your neck straps, or shoulder straps I should say. You'll probably notice these Velcro panels here on the inside. That is for an optional pontoon system, I believe they call it. So if you want to create more standoff between your body and the carrier to allow better airflow, you can throw those in. There is just a little bit already built in though, so that you do have a little bit of standoff just the way it comes out of the box, which is a good thing. It's not the most comfortable out of the box that I've used, but it's a lot more comfortable than a lot of others that I've worn. And I think with that optional pontoon system, this thing would be a breeze to wear. That being said, it is very pleasant to wear. Now, right now I have the level 3 plates from Acelink that I've talked about in a video previously, which combined for front and back is 7 pounds. So it's not terribly heavy now. However, typically I'm running a level 4 multi-curve plate in these, which is going to be significantly heavier, and that weight is going to add up quite a bit should you not have good dispersion of that weight. But again, this thing is good to go. Again, I think if comfort is your ultimate goal, get that pontoon system, but I really like the way it comes just out of the box. Now, one more thing we haven't really talked about yet is these little loops here that allow you to either route comms if you're running comms off your back, or hydration, or whatever other hose you might need to route over your shoulder. This will kind of keep everything organized and tucked in, so you don't have to worry about stuff flopping all over the place. Stuff flopping all over the place is never good. So I like that. Now, before I forget, one thing I should mention too, the way that the back panels here attach, you have zippers in addition to the Velcro supports. So it is, again, a very robust mounting system. You don't have to worry about someone just ripping this off your back, other than the tearaway pouches. But again, there's retention there too. But the way that these are designed is a good system for not letting stuff come off too easily, but also making it easier for the end user to configure to whatever your needs are. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what this thing is like to use. Now, again, I have gotten in quite a bit of experience with this thing. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me to film myself running too many drills, because I find myself moving off camera too often, as I'll probably demonstrate in one of the clips that I've filmed, I believe, with this thing on. But I have gotten quite a bit of use out of it. Now, I will say that because of the way I typically wear stuff like this, trying to keep it high on my chest up here to get adequate protection, the mag pouches do sit a little bit higher for me to be able to quickly and easily run mags through it. Now, part of that could just be that I'm not practiced at it. Well, that is one of the reasons, obviously, is that I'm not practiced at it. But I also typically, my primary reloads are going to be coming off my belt. So this is going to be run in conjunction with the belt, and I'll typically go for those mags off the belt first before going to my chest rig or plate carrier. So it's okay for it to be a little bit slower because this is just to be able to carry extra ammo. My primary reloading is going to be taking place off the belt. So do with that information what you will. Now, as I said earlier, I don't have an issue with this buckle being here. I can see why some people might want to swap it over, but depending on what plates you're running, depending on what type of firearm you're running, it may or may not be an issue in the first place. So with this Midwest Industries 10.5 pistol, which is probably what I've shot with this plate carrier the most, I can still very easily get it in my shoulder. There is going to be a little bit of cant in it, but that's kind of standard with plate carrier use, at least for me. I know there are some systems out there that are designed to still work and keep it, tucked on the arm shoulder strap. I just kind of make do, run it off a little bit of a cant, and it is what it is. Again, it's been working well for me so far. Again, mostly been running this thing with ARs, but of course you can run it this way. Now, one thing is, I've been running it with ARs mostly because these mag pouches, when you have the rifle mag pouches in there, will not fit a K mags. Even the 545 by 39 AK-74 mags, because of the locking tabs, it doesn't want to easily reinsert. Even if you can easily get them out, getting them back in is going to be a little bit tricky, especially trying to do that under stress. So again, do with that information what you will. My understanding is they're working on stuff like that, but for now, ARs or subguns is probably going to be the way to go. And I believe they even have a shotgun placard. So if you guys are shotgun people out there, the world is your oyster. So we've said a lot of positives about this plate carrier. What are some of the drawbacks? So first of all, for some of you is going to be cost. These things are not cheap. However, nothing good usually ever is. These things are going to run you, at least in this style, around $200, depending on, pattern and everything else. And that's not including the placards on the front or on the back. So it's not going to be the cheapest plate carrier to get into, but when it comes to something you're going to be wearing all day long, a good plate carrier is very, very important, especially if you're going to be wearing a lot of weight or anything like that. Before this one, my main plate carrier was the SKD Pig. Big fan of that one. That one's probably nearly twice as much as this one, but a very comfortable one. And again, once you have a good plate carrier, it makes it very hard to even tolerate wearing a bad plate carrier. So again, I would put this in a good category, but it is going to cost you a little bit more money, again, especially once you start putting those placards on. Really the only other thing other than that is when I'm donning and doffing, some of the loops, the Velcro loops here on the shoulder straps can kind of scratch a little bit. That's really only during the donning and doffing process. Once it's on, again, it's very comfortable and could be made even more comfortable with your choice of plates, first of all, and also with that extra pontoon system. Just understand it's going to make it a little bit more bulky on the front and back. So again, take that into consideration if you so choose. One other thing is, at least if you're running, especially the simple cummerbund on the side, or you're just running a placard and no other mag pouches along the sides or on the belt, you do have a pretty limited mag carrying ability. Now, not so much in this case when you have 530 rounders, 150 rounds on the plate carrier is not a bad start, at least. But when you're running the AR pouches, let me just swap back to that. So when you're running the AR mag pouches, you are running 3 mags across the front. Now, that may or may not matter to you. Obviously, when you think of like HRT teams and stuff like that, it's typically someone who's going in with a very specific purpose and probably not going to be staying there long. For me, I'm coming at it from the mindset of a civilian, you know, who might need to do civilian stuff, whatever that might be. And typically that's not going to include being mechanized, so not being able to drive in or out of wherever I'm going to be. And 2, not having ready resupply. So I kind of have to carry a lot of things on me because I don't have a supply chain helping to feed more magazines or ammo or anything else to my position. So I like having, typically, including my battle belt, what am I running? 9 mags, including the one in the gun, assuming we're running 30 rounders in an intermediate cartridge. That's going to be hard to do with this plate carrier. Now, that being said, they do have the option of, again, having the MOLLE Cummerbund, so you can attach mag pouches along the side should you so choose. You can also just get a MOLLE placard on the front, which you can then outfit however you want. You can stack those mags as deep as you so choose. So while it's a downfall if you're only going to be running these, you do have the option to kind of configure it however you want. And again, for most people who are just going to be running this through competition or through classes or something like that, where you don't need 300 rounds on your body, you know, again, not going to be an issue for you. So to kind of wrap up this video, which has gone pretty long at this point, overall, I'm a really big fan of this plate carrier system from HRT Tactical. I think if you're looking for something that gives you modularity to adapt it to whatever your needs are, within some constraints, again, no AK mags for the time being, it's going to really be a good choice for people who are going to be, you know, whether running a competition, taking a class, working a job, whatever it is. You can very easily go back and forth between placards and set this up as you see fit. Having things like this comms pouch here on the side, which again, as I understand, was designed by John Lovell, makes sense because it's really well, it's a good idea in my opinion. Makes it very easy to integrate comms into your system and still have it at a ready, accessible place to be able to turn it on and off. If you need to adjust what channel you're on, it's very easy to do, and in a place that's very comfortable and protected while being out of the way and still giving you access to it. So again, just a really well thought out design. It's clearly done by people who would be using products like this because everything just makes sense and is configured in a way that is just more conducive to a good experience on the part of the end user. So if you want to see more information about these plate carriers, I'll have a link to HRT Tactical's website down in the description. If this is a place where I can't do that, I'll just have it here on the bottom of the screen. I definitely think it's worth checking out if you're looking for a new plate carrier. In fact, on the Discord server that I have for my patrons tonight, I had a guy asking about plate carriers, and I said, doing a video tonight, so watch that one. But one of the ones I recommended was this HRT RAC plate carrier. Again, it's just a really well thought out design and something that gives the end user a lot of options. I've kind of already said that, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse too much more. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and throw those in the comment section down below. If you feel so inclined, you can check out my Patreon page. That is what really helps me get out and go to the range and test out products like this one, especially with the way ammo has been. I do stuff over there to help kind of reward the people who want to do that. So again, we have a Discord server set up for more direct one-on-one real-time communication. I post all my content over there early. We do some exclusive content. We do live streams. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting, or you just want to financially support the channel, definitely check that out. And I guess as a way to stop the tease here, I'll go ahead and show you what that mag was for earlier. I'm sure a lot of you already probably guessed, but the VZ61 Scorpion, don't worry, this one is a SBR, because, you know, it makes sense to say that this is a rifle, but the AR you guys saw earlier is a pistol. Thanks, ATF. But it's a good way to be able to run a subgun like this one. is to have a plate carrier that lets you put pistol mag pouches in there. So anyway, a lot more about this guy coming to the channel, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. But anyway, as always, I hope you guys got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.